the worst thing people do say is like, oh, marriage is 50-50 or whatever it is. That will never be the case. That's some
Nope.
bullshit. Like, marriage will never be 50-50. And people need to know that neither person is going to be right or wrong all the time. And you're going to have to compromise more than you want to. Like, it's all those kind of things that you have to choose and be like, oh, like if you chose your person, I'm not choosing you as you are now. I'm choosing every version of you, even the ones I don't know yet. And I don't think people say that shit out
That's
loud.
deep. That's deep.
Most men benefit from marriage.
I remember when I reached a point in my marriage, I am now divorced, where I was like, wow, my husband benefits so much from having me in his life. Like, literally, I handled the finances. Whenever we traveled, I did all of the travel arrangements. I did all of the planning. I
Why you made that face?
Nothing.
did all of the grocery shopping. I didn't really do the cooking, but I did pretty much all of the cleaning.
This nigga farted.
And I did
Get the
any
fuck
type
outta
of like
here. That was-
social organization, or if one of the people in our family like had a birthday, like I would shop for it. If we were going to a holiday at his family's house, I would make sure that we were bringing something. Like, I did everything for this man. And there came a point in my marriage where I was like, wow, this man benefits so much from marriage, but what do I benefit from?
Wow, she sounds very ungrateful.
Why do people not know how to like use words to communicate? Like, if you want something, like ask for it. Like, yo, I need help with this. I need you to do more in this area.
Maybe, but I'm also thinking, and I don't know if she said how long she was married for, but I'm like, I find it very hard to believe that he didn't do anything whatsoever for the marriage.
She never even mentioned anything that he's done. Like,
You know what I mean? Like, you telling me that he was just like, you were paying all the bills, he was just showing up to go to sleep there, and that's it. Like, it's interesting.
I mean, everybody's version of doing shit in the relationship is different because she didn't talk about financial shit. What she was talking about was like physical, like actually doing shit.
yeah, like
As
that
opposed to,
sounds-
because to him, he might have felt like he was doing shit by paying bills. Because that might have been their agreement. But then after a while, she might have changed her mind and just not said shit to him about it.
But even then, if that's the scenario, she didn't say shit. My thing is like a lot of the stuff that she was saying, it sounded like is what you should normally do in a relationship. Like, is it because you got to a point where these basic things got too much for you, and you feel like
I don't know. Maybe the guy was an asshole. He might have done something crazy.
Could
and we
be,
haven't
'cause there's
gotten
not
there
much
in the office
context,
yet.
right.
Like, she just kind of shared at the beginning. So maybe there was something there that we just haven't heard.
But she's talking about cleaning, cooking, taking care of the house. Like,
Yeah.
is that viewed as something that's like, oh, like out of like bigger than what it actually is? Like, I feel like that's something that you should be doing to contribute to the relationship, as the man should be doing his part to contribute in the relationship in his ways, like in ways that they both agree in, of course. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I think it's a per relationship thing. Like, whatever y'all agree upon is what works for y'all.
like this basic stuff, like you feel like.
Listen, I don't know.
And when I stepped back and I really looked at that, I was like, I am not benefiting very much from this marriage. And so I started to ask him for more. And that's when I realized how replaceable women are, because instead of him wanting to do the work,
What's the work?
Do you think he went out and got another girl? Is that what it was?
Oh, okay. Let's play this game. What do we?
Because he said, because she went like, I asked him for like, it sounded like she went and had the conversation.
Yeah,
And it sounds like, and she said, it showed me how replaceable we are. So I'm guessing he just went and found another one.
He was like, oh yeah, you want to complain? All right, bet, watch this.
My guess is he didn't find another one. My guess is he just didn't change. That's my guess. Fuck it.
Your guess is that he didn't change. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but
What's your guess?
I think he replaced her because she's.
Then why do you think?
women
Then why do
are
you
so
think she said she's
replaceable.
replaceable?
I don't know. I just didn't want us to come off as like
All
fucking
right.
dicks.
All right, so let's see.
and actually like work to help the marriage move forward and for us to both be equal partners. There was a lot of resistance where he was like I think I could feel, and this is my projection, that he was like, why don't I just go, like find someone? Or I think because he was so religious.
Oh, he didn't do that.
Yeah, he didn't.
He didn't do that. It sounds like she made up a whole story in her
Yeah,
her
that's what
mind.
she said. Her projection.
She started making a whole story about whatever she thought he was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of asking.
Yeah.
For him, it wasn't, why don't I go find someone? It was like, wow, I should have picked someone who was just like less, asked less of me. And eventually he did step up a bit and really helped with other things. But again, it was him helping me. It wasn't him doing it. It was always me being like,
Hold up. So now, you see, this is a little tricky. Because she's selling the story, and I think she's massaging the words in her way that she wants to tell it.
Right.
But it sounds like she had the conversation with him, asked him to do more, and he was helping and doing more. That's literally what she just admitted. It was like, oh, he's doing it. But now she's saying, now she's moving the goalposts. Now I have to ask him to do it. And he waited until I asked him instead of him just doing it. So at that point, you're moving the goalposts. He's starting to do it. He's showing you that, hey, I want to do it
I'll
and
help you.
Like, and not even just help you. Like, he's trying to do something that he didn't use before to contribute. And I think what she was saying at first about her mind, it seemed like he was confused. It might have been him being confused, thinking he was already contributing to the marriage, just
Right.
not in the way that she expected it.
That's what I said. Like, everybody's version of contributing is different.
you know, here's what needs to be done. Can you please do it? And he'll be like, tell me what you want me to do and I'll do it. And, you know, he would, to his credit, do it. But that was still the emotional labor that I had to do of telling him what needed to be done.
The emotional labor. That's called communication. It sounds like you lack that.
I need the women to know, why do they feel like that's like such a big thing? Like I've never heard anybody use that phrase emotional labor to phrase what she said, but I've heard women have that similar complaint of like it being like a drag to have to like say shit to a man about some shit. But I'm like, why? Like, say the shit.
Just say, like, it's one thing if
I
you have to
understand.
constantly repeat yourself. That okay, like I can understand that, and you getting annoyed and whatnot, and that being considered emotional labor, right? So something that he should be doing, you have to repeat. But if you're just saying, oh, just the fact that I had to tell you, like, that's communication. What's wrong with that? Like, why are you seeing that as such a negative? So we're guys too, we're men. You have to tell us a lot of the times. We're not gurus. We can't just figure it out. Sometimes we have to be told, and that's okay.
No, and it sounds like it was thing around the house that she wanted to get done. So,
Yeah.
so like, and at least he's like, just tell me what to do and I do it. And it sounds like he's getting it done. So what is the emotional labor?
And where's the resistance?
Of you
too?
having to tell him, clean the bathroom for me, please?
Yeah.
Is
like-
that the emotional? I don't know. I'm just...
Like I feel like there's a lot of times where women expect us to just know these things just by
You know what I'm getting out of
behaviors
this?
and stuff.
So this is I'm gonna start making predictions. I'm about to bring a board and write it behind me and see where I land. So I think this is it's a couple of things. She started comparing herself to other people. She probably had single friends, and she still looks young. So I'm going to guess that she got married very young. I'm going to guess that she got married like at 20, 21, something like this.
Okay.
And then she went through her mid-20s, and then she was trying to go find herself, and she needed to find a reason to leave. And this is the reason she ended up on.
That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what I think it's going to be.
I can't really think of
That's
one
what
better
you
than
think it's
that
gonna
one.
be?
Yep.
I ain't gonna lie. As somebody that's been in the same situation, and like, I kind of didn't really change like that, honestly, and it kind of fucked it up. Like, there was other reasons why I didn't work out, but I didn't really change or whatever. So I'm like, and I've seen other people, especially when we're young as guys. I'm gonna rock out with her. I think he was fucking. I don't think it was an excuse for her to leave him.
Because I'm going to give you a couple things so far that I've seen.
I think she was just she got ungrateful.
I think there's a couple little red flags that I've seen. And that is, number one, it sounded like he was trying. He wasn't trying in the way that she wanted him to try.
Yeah.
But now she mentioned he's religious, which in my mind, if you're going to marry someone, that means you probably are religious too. I hope that you are in some level, like at least a similar kind of way of thinking when it comes to those kind of core values. And it sounds like she pivoted away from it because she talked about him being super religious in a degrading way. She didn't say it in a positive tone, which sounds like she's the one who's changed and like shifting away.
Damn, my boy's
More
on
they
point
are.
with the observations.
He's probably right because he even giving motherfucking explanations. I'm just saying, like, I'm just rocking with her.
He's like the king of looking into things.
I don't know. You just gotta listen to people. People will tell you who they are
If you just
listen to
pay
them.
attention and really, yeah, you're
That's
right.
true.
And then I remember after we were getting divorced, and I was thinking, like, wow, I'm still replaceable because he didn't really care about me as a person, but the role that I filled was what the men cared about.
So you see, this is so weird. How is she the one that feels replaceable when she's the one walking away?
Wait, yeah, like what?
Because she says she felt like he like that's how she felt replaceable, like the whole time. That's what she's saying. Like she felt like that's what she thought.
So now
like,
you telling me she's gonna do the
Same.
toxic thing of saying, "I wanted you to fight for me. Why didn't you fight for me?" Like this was
no,
all
what I
a,
think,
this
what
was
I
all
think
a
is
test.
what she should have blatantly like they should have had a blatant conversation about it, like on some shit like, yo, like, do you want to be with somebody else or some shit? Like, is this not working out for you? Like, I feel like you should have that conversation to find out, like, are you trying to replace me? Like, what's going
But
on?
it doesn't sound like she had that. She just
No,
her
I'm
internalizing.
thinking
this.
logical.
Cared about. And I watched couples around us get divorced, and I watched the man move on before before, like, one man, he moved on before his wife had even moved out of their home. And I was like, yeah, it's because men don't really see women as human. They see us as, like, what are you benefiting us? And as soon as you stop benefiting us, well, we'll just go find someone who will offer us everything that we
Can I
need
put a
and
pause
who
on that?
won't.
Why is she acting like women don't do the same damn thing? Probably, maybe even more than we do. Like,
That's how she started this video.
huh?
That's how she started this video.
No, I'm saying she's acting.
her lack of benefit.
She's talking in a way like, oh, it's so bad, but she's acting like women don't do the same thing. What can you do for me?
She's doing it.
That's what I'm saying.
She's literally doing it.
That's
like,
that's exactly what I'm saying. Like but when it comes to a man doing it, it's bad. Am I the only one that sees this?
Nope, I agree.
like,
Right? No.
No, I get it. Like in my mind, like it just makes common sense. It's like, yeah, like if you're with someone, it's because they fulfill something for you, and you're hoping you can fulfill something for them.
But you ever
whatever the
notice
case might
that
be.
when a guy starts to do the thing that women typically do, it's deemed as bad when the guy does it, but when a female or when a woman does it, is
Like what thing?
like this one, for example. Like
What is he doing?
pretty much, well, no, I'm saying like this girl, for example, like women all the time, they make sure that a man can provide, right? Like good resources, make sure that he can actually take care of her in a sense and be able to be a leader. As soon as that guy's not able to provide or do any of those things, a lot of the times a woman leaves the dude. You know what I mean? Because he can no longer.
Yeah, but at this point, he hasn't left. So in this whole circumstance, this is something she's making up in her head. And that's just why I think my prediction of her doing this to justify her decision is just something that she did for that reason.
No, that's true.
I wish we had a little bit more context in these Tinder talks.
That's
Not
true.
Tinder talks. TikTok talks.
Won't complain. So it wasn't about seeing us for our humanity and, like, loving me and us as the people. It was like, yeah, women are a renewable resource because we're a man. We'll just go get another one. And I remember just feeling so heartbroken.
You know what I think it is? I think women believe men have access to women the same way they have access to men.
That is not true.
I don't think that women think that.
I do think so. I do believe.
That's a great question.
I do think so. I think because it's hard for a woman to put themselves in a man's shoes, and I don't think they can think, because even the way she's talking about it, she doesn't realize that in order for a man to be with a woman, he has to put in some form of effort and work.
Oh, he might be a certain type of man.
And he has to come with something, too.
She might be with a quote unquote high value man.
But even if he is, he still has to put in work to get to the woman.
Exactly.
A woman usually doesn't have to put in any work. Like the woman just has to say yes or no.
That's it.
You know what I mean? And like she just chooses who she says yes or no to.
Like if he doesn't have a job, if he doesn't have a car, like if he has nothing going on for himself, living at mom's house, his chances are very, very slim. As opposed to a woman not having those things and living with moms, like they can still get somebody that can actually take them out of their mom's house. Not to say that guys can't do it either, because that's
because it does
that's
happen,
happening.
but it's just.
But
a
at the
smaller
rate
probability.
compared to it's a smaller probability. Women have a higher chance of getting away with that than men do.
Yeah.
You fucking scrub.
Broken because I had loved this man since I was 21 years old. I was so in love
21.
with my husband. Like,
Oh, look at that.
I would have done anything. I
Freaking
did do
CIA
anything for
detective.
him. But
Blue belt wearing.
for him to look at me and not.
Did you do anything for him?
That's what I want.
Like,
to
because I would
know,
be
man.
like my couple questions were, do you go to couples therapy and you try to make it work?
She's making him sound so bad though. Like there's deadbeats out here that they beat on you. They they don't take care of their kids. Like they don't care if you ate. Like it sounds like he was there. He was present in the home, and also willing to put in the effort to make some changes and do the things that she's mentioned.
Not feel that same way. That was such a hard lesson to learn because I was, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, thinking about men, crazy. But it was just such a painful lesson to learn because for me, it was my entire world. He was my entire world, and I loved him, and I adored him, and I talked, about him to the people that I loved. And for him, it was just kind of like, yeah, you're filling this role that I needed in my life in order to, like, be, a whole human being in a man.
Honestly, I just think she was with the wrong person. Like, that wasn't the right person for her. That's all I think it was. I'm being 100% honest.
To me, she sounds like she got ungrateful, honestly. I think she might have been on social media too damn much.
All women a little bit ungrateful.
She might have been on social media too damn much, and that caused the friction in the relationship. I feel like
they gonna find something to complain about. I mean, everybody can complain about something.
But that's the thing. That's what relationship is work. And I think she just lost that idea. Like marriage, relationship, it's work. You got to put it to work.
Huh? You complain about work, your job. You complain about work, your relationship. You complain about work here.
But that's a different.
It's all work. Everything is work.
That's a different kind of work. But yes, it is all work. I mean.
Oh no! All I'm gonna say, I'm gonna watch the last 10 seconds just in case you say something else.
That's a really hard place to be.
So I'll tell you one thing.
Really hard place to be.
There was nothing in this video that told me how a man benefits more from marriage than a woman.
Yeah, that's
she has yet to say. Yeah.
No, like she didn't mention anything, and I don't think there would have been a right person in the way she was describing it.
Her mentioning, well, she did mention it in a way of like, oh, I do this, I cook, I clean, I do all this stuff for you. But like, again, to me, it sounds like you're just doing the basic stuff that contributes towards a relationship. That if that sounds like too much for you, then maybe you shouldn't have been in a relationship, period.
Maybe.
We'll find out.
You know what I mean?
She found out when she would have broke motherfucker that cheat on her crazy.
Of course.
Well, the thing is that now she's not 21 either, so she has to keep that in mind. Like now you're going to a whole different ball game. Like you're gonna like you were in a place where it sounded like you were in a fairly traditional marriage. Because if you got married that young, he probably was young. He sounded like he was religious.
He was religious, yeah.
Which probably meant he had some kind of good values, hopefully.
Morals.
Some moral values. But I think my prediction was it. Now I almost wish I can go down her TikTok, and I guarantee you I'll find more videos that will validate my prediction.
I feel like, yeah, because he said 2021 around there, and she hit the money there. But my thing is that if you felt like this is too much for you, then you shouldn't have been in a relationship to begin with. Like, it's work. It takes
Well, she got married at 21, so she got married young.
Yeah, but my thing is, like, he even said, like, okay, what do you want to do?
Well, there's a thing that I think, unless
there's guys that don't even ask you that. There's people that don't even take that initiative. They just
no, but it's not even that. Like, I think what's happening is this: in that situation,
and don't even listen.
They were married young, and they were growing, and they didn't choose to learn how to learn one another and to love one another as you're changing. Because the person you're gonna meet and you're gonna potentially marry and be with, even at your age now and 10 years from now, is not gonna be the same person.
I also think there was a communication issue there too. Though.
So there's one thing that can be an issue, and that could have been from them being young or not.
Yeah.
Or it sounded like there was communication because he was trying and he was doing it and he was telling her, "Just tell me what you need me to do and I'm gonna get it done," kind of a thing. So there was an element of communication. I think it was a dynamic of, you're not the person I had in my mind that I should have at this point in time.
So what makes you think he's not going to feel like that and then in turn replace you? Like, why is that so bad for a guy? Like,
maybe that's why she felt that way.
Because we got to keep in mind.
That was the way that she really felt.
You got to keep in mind she's the one that leaving. So I'm like, the way I would see it is like, okay, well, I feel like I did. I mean, I don't really know because there's not a lot of context, but it kind of sounds like he did the best he could, but it just wasn't up to her standards. And she's like, I'm going to leave. And at that point, as the guy, I'm like, well, I feel like I did the best that I could for you. You still want to leave? By all means, go. I'll just find somebody else that actually wants to.
No, I understand that. But I still
me.
don't think that hits on that men benefit more from marriage. Because I think
I definitely agree with you on
the
that.
worst thing people do say is like, oh, marriage is 50-50 or whatever it is. That will never be the case. That's some
Nope.
bullshit. Like, marriage will never be 50-50. And people need to know that neither person is going to be right or wrong all the time. And you're going to have to compromise more than you want to. And it can be on little things all the time. And I think that's the hardest part. And knowing that the person you meet today, let's say you meet somebody today that you potentially will marry, it's not going to be the same person 5 years from now. It's not
7
going to
years
be.
from now. Yep.
So that means you
Yeah,
have
I
to
never really
choose.
thought about that.
But you have to choose 5 years from now to say, in 5 years from now, I'm going to choose you. Doesn't matter what you are. And I think people are afraid of that commitment all the time. And the same thing for you. Like,
So
you
let me
will
ask
change.
let me ask you something. What if the person actually changed for the worse? Like, you still gonna?
Well, it depends on what it
stand
is.
by
Like,
that?
like I'm not telling you stay with a serial killer or some shit.
That's
Like,
what I'm
that's
saying.
not like that's not what I'm saying. But like, there will be ups and downs, and like, we're human, so you're probably gonna have to deal with periods in time where your partner is gonna go through like depression or something like that.
and you
and
gotta
that-
be there to pick them up.
Well,
or like,
potentially, and you have to figure out how do I navigate this. And some of these, and you have to keep in mind, like,
It could
these
affect
are
you, too.
easy times for you to run away and be like, cool, this is my way out. And there will be times where there may be a friendship that you don't like. There can be many different things that will play a part that can potentially affect you and your relationship. It can be something happening on their side of the family, like on having issues with her parents or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That will affect her, and because of that, it can affect the household. So like,
That shit is tough to deal with. I didn't know all this that he said. That shit is all tough to
yeah,
deal
I
with
know.
in relationships.
like it's all those kind of things that you have to choose and be like, oh, like if you chose your person, I'm not choosing you as you are now. I'm choosing every version of you, even the ones I don't know yet. And I don't think people say that shit out
That's
loud.
deep. That's deep. Not a lot of people see it that way though, because everybody is so quick to give up. It's the
No,
lowest
I don't
thing.
think it's a people don't see it that way because whereas everybody is being raised to be selfish and think about themselves
Selfish and
first.
everybody's replaceable.
Sort of, but they're not.
Yeah.
Everybody is replaceable, but that value and that effect that they have on you isn't replaceable. But people and the person that's standing in front of you, yeah.
Sort of, but not really. Well, the way I view it is, and I can only speak from my perspective, and like there's stuff that I lived with my wife, right? That even if we were to get separated today and I meet somebody else today, that new person will never be able to say that she knew the 20-year-old me, and like know things that I do just even if my breathing changes. Like that type of stuff you don't replace. It just comes with time and experience, and it won't be the same because I don't have as much time left anymore. Because every day we leave, that means it's one more day less than I have. So like there'll be like little details and things that you can do for someone or they can do for you that only comes with time and they being around you. So that I feel like the longer you wait to get married, yeah, I understand like you're gonna be more set up on your own, but then that individual will have less time to get to truly know you.
Mm. Right, because by that time they got the finished product and not the process.
They got what you think is the finished product.
Right.
But the problem with that is that you don't know what that person would be like through a hard process of building or making something
You
because
haven't
they're
seen them
only
through
there.
those seasons.
Correct. And what I've seen is from experience with friends is when somebody gets married after they've been established, the ability for somebody to walk away and divorce is much easier because it's like, oh, you got me used to this lifestyle. As long as it went down a little bit, oh, I don't want to be here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They're
But
quick
if you
to walk
met
away.
somebody that built with you, they already know what the low is. So
Uh-huh.
you could potentially be going to a small hill and then be like, oh, this is not
This
low.
is nothing.
You know what I mean? Because they've already been there. They never experienced it.
That's
And-
something beautiful to have, bro. Oh my gosh. Start
All right,
start
well,
thinking
you
back.
get You could title this "Men Benefit so much from marriage" the way that she did, even though she didn't give a single way that men actually benefit from it.
Let us know, guys. Like, who do you think actually benefits more in a marriage? Guys, girl. Well,
I don't
men,
think it's a
women?
more. Is that even thing?
Or is that
I
even a
think we just
thing?
benefit different.
Do you
Correct.
think that one benefits more than the other? I mean, let us know in the comments down below.
Please hit the like, comment, and subscribe. Share. This is Never Famous.